Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love to another episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. On the docket today, Mel Kiper believes he knows what the Chicago Bears will do with the first overall pick. I find this hilarious because last year Mel Kiper believed that he knew what the Chicago Bears would do with the first overall pick, and he did not. So that makes me laugh at the end of the day. But got to talk about what his thoughts are, what we could see the Bears do. I think there's some interesting trade back scenarios in this draft if the Chicago Bears were willing to actually trade back here. And there's a scenario that was put out by my guy just another year that I think is very interesting. Might touch on that as well. And also some Bulls talk on this episode because, I mean, they're firing everybody. Like, everybody's getting fired out here except the Chicago Bulls. So we got to talk some basketball as well. All that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button. Leave that 5-star review and subscribe to the page. We appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Shout out to Shadow Boy in the building, man. Bennett in this mug. Abe in this mug. Ray in this mug. What's going on, Ray? Bardon, Packers suck big time for sure. Let's start it off here, man. Let's start it off with the Mel Kiper story. Now, he has released his first mock draft, and he believes that the Chicago Bears will not only utilize this first pick, but utilize this first pick on Caleb Williams. He says Caleb Williams is just too doggone good. You go back to 2022, and he was daggone near perfect. And I do think that that's an interesting name to have in there, right? I do believe that when you not an interesting name in Caleb Williams to have in there, but an interesting angle to take on the Caleb Williams draft conversation, right? Because the one thing about Caleb that everybody points to is the things that have happened this year, and honestly, most of it has nothing to do with what we saw from him on the field. And the Bears utilizing that first overall pick, to me, on Caleb Williams, I know Mel Kiper is a lot of times wrong, right? Like he's really sometimes bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like it's laughable at times how bad he is on some of these picks.
He's just man alive, dog.
Right? It's not right. It's funny. Right? It's wild how bad he is with
if you're
some
a
of these
betting
picks.
Man, don't choose his picks, dog.
But and I think here's the biggest thing. I've been doing this experiment where, and I probably should be recording this, and maybe I will. I'm going back and I'm watching every Caleb Williams game until I'm fully convinced that this guy could be or should be the number one pick for the Chicago Bears. The one thing that I can't say, because I'm not getting any of the press or any of the post-game show stuff or any other, I'm just watching the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you can't say he can't play. Mm-hmm. There's no way you can't look at his game and say that he can't play. And so Mel Kiper saying that this is not a Bryce Young situation for me. Mm-hmm. I watched Bryce Young and I was like, I don't know if Bryce can play, and he's small. It's not to say he's not talented, but I don't know if Bryce can play at the NFL level. Looked at CJ Stroud. I forget what my concern with CJ Stroud was. I think it was
we talked about that a lot. It was honestly what the reports were. The reports were saying that he just wasn't there mentally, which is, I think, is a huge discredit to him, obviously. And then also it was a simple fact that we really just didn't care that much. Like, realistically, none of those QBs
quarterback last year.
Yeah, none of those QBs at that time were like neck and shoulders above, head and shoulders, above Justin. It was like I said neck and shoulders, right? That's crazy.
Shoulders, no head, just neck and shoulders,
right? Hey, they weren't like we had Justin going into year 2. We had a new situation. We weren't really looking for a QB.
Yeah.
We didn't need that QB. So getting him those weapons and stuff like that, you were one of the first people to say, get him some weapons. Let's see what he got. Get him some weapons. Let's see what we got. They got DJ Moore. We got him some weapons. Let's see what he got, right? And at the time, we were still big on Luke Getsy because we realized we had depleted the team. We were still big on Matt Eberflus. Same situation. You were the first person to call that out. Like, hey, let's see what this team looks like when he gets some of his pieces there. Hopefully, we get the 3 tag and stuff like that. And it just we got what we got.
We got. And I'll be honest with you, most of the weapons that we thought we had, we ain't got. We came into this season like Chase Claypool bounce back year. He bounced all right.
Hey,
Just
that
like a
first,
check when you
hey,
ain't
you
got
were
enough
big
money
on
in that
Chase
month.
Claypool. Like I got Chase
Hey,
Claypool, DJ
hey,
Moore, Mooney's
bro.
back.
Hey, I was hype on Claypool coming into this season, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I was wrong. But I think here's what's interesting. I think this is the difference though with the Caleb scenario. And if you guys saw Chicago Bears podcast today, by the way, over 100 in the chat. Nah. If you guys watch today's Chicago Bears podcast, I talked with me and Courtney talked with Antonio Morales, who, like I said yesterday, is basically the Brian Windhorse of Caleb Williams. He's followed around USC. He's covered this guy his entire time in college. And I mean,
Great
listen,
episode, by the way.
As I appreciate you, as I've watched more Caleb Williams, as I've watched everything that's going into his game, and I've started with last year. I haven't started with this year. I've started with last year. This year was a down year for him,
but he ain't had no.
and it was still a ridiculously great statistical year. It was a down year. There was some bad moments, but when we talked with them, when I talked with Antonio about that, it was his thought process on it was basically Caleb Williams went through the worst scenario and you still saw really good, and you can't just say that it's a Justin situation. You can't say it's all on Caleb. Protection this year was god awful. He's trying to make something happen out of nothing. The play calling this year changed. It wasn't as consistent as the play calling was last year. They didn't use the run as much, a lot less play action. All of these things that went into it, and it's not that I believe that the Bears should go all in on Caleb, because I'm a believer in you have way too many holes to worry about the first overall pick at quarterback right now. But when you watch this kid's game, just the game, he can play. Now, you do have to ask yourself, and the other thing that comes out in that interview is, do you want to deal with a LeVar Ball situation here in Chicago? And that is does the locker room want to deal with it? Do you want that? Is serious situation that you have to bring in. LeVar Ball's still wilding. He just called Lonzo damaged goods like 3 days ago. That's good. Like, bro, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's still wilding. Nothing's changed.
If I could just, because I listen, great interview, by the way. Courtney cooks. Courtney's
elite. Courtney's one of the best in the game, and we have her on the podcast because the people that are a lot higher up than us haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, Courtney does great.
I do not expect to have her long.
Yeah. So if you can pass that message along, tell her like, hey, P Kid's a fan. That being said, I look at it, and I always will look at it as this. We keep asking the question about what you can get with the number 1 overall, not realizing we got the number 9 as well. Like, there's so many different scenarios in which you can still build your team out. You can still get the pieces you need. And guess what? Post has already done the fleecing, which is why we're even here. We're already better than we were when he first got here. We got more of those pieces. We really just need to shore up that defense and everything else. I really think I'm big on this. I think you have a difference of opinion. I don't want to go too many rooks on the O-line. I think you have to try to find a way to go veteran. Some pros feel the same way. I know you're against that, things of that nature, but I feel like that's one of the things that you do. But the question to me is, would you be dramatically worse by having Caleb there versus would you be dramatically worse by going Caleb?
Here's my issue with it.
Oh, he's not as good as Justin. Justin's a 3rd-year pro. He shouldn't be just as good.
No, here's the problem though, right? You don't get that. He's not going to get that time. And it's not because like Ryan Poles isn't going to get that time. You're generational. We're drafting you number 1 because you're generational. Generational means the second you step on this field, something needs to change. Matt Eberflus does not have time to take a step back. He will not be here next year if they win 7 games again. That I can guarantee you.
He shouldn't be here now.
I agree with that, but
like that's not saying much. Like Matt Eberflus,
I didn't pick him.
If we pick Caleb or whoever, it doesn't have to be Caleb. I'm not as high on Caleb as most people are, but if whoever we were to use that,
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hey, you got to do this. Maybe we do. We need to record this. This is content that we can put out. We can't put it out on YouTube, but maybe we can do it on like Patreon or something like that. Hey, bro. Nah, he kind of him, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
hey, hold on.
Now,
Y'all understand how rare
when
it
I
is for
say
Pat to
this,
admit that.
now here's the problem, right? When I say this is a lot of the same issues we have with Justin from the games that I've seen from this season are still there.
Facts.
It's very much big play hunting, holding the ball too long, ton of stuff off schedule.
Yes. He's solving problems that he create. Hey, that Canadian comment was wild.
Hey, great comment.
That's wild. That's an elite comedy right there,
Being
baby.
called a band by a dude from Canada is crazy.
He probably said
1,000 points to Michael for throwing us all the way off with that comment. What a phenomenal comment that was. That's hilarious. But no, I like a lot of the same things that we feel are good with Justin, he has those. A lot of the same things that we feel are bad with Justin, he has those. And we can sit here and we can talk about, oh, he's in college, he's in the pros, whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. He's supposed to be generational. And when I see the gap is what I can see with the guys that are his contemporaries, right? It's him, at least to me right now. And then you could go Drake May, you can go Jaden Daniels, you can go, but there's a gap. Like I see why people are hyping him up at the level that he is. But there's just a lot of factors that you have to take into account that people can say aren't real factors, aren't real things happening in the league right now. But you take a dude. I said this yesterday on the show. I've never seen somebody more loved in a locker room than Justin Fields. And maybe they move. It's not like the Bears are going to stop playing football because they move on from Justin Fields. Like DJ Moore's still going to play football with whoever they put in there. But remember what happened to that locker room when you ripped Roquan out of it. Them dudes gave up.
I'm not gonna lie though. The fact that Poles actually did that tells me that he's not afraid to do it again. He's not afraid to make the right move to make the team better overall, even if you don't like it right now. And you can't say that our defense isn't better with the moves he made after we got rid of Roquan.
No, the defense is better for sure. The defense is better for sure. You're
so
getting more pressure. Yeah. I'm not saying. I think here's the thing. Mel Kiper saying that. I'll say this. Do I think that you can grow with Justin? Do I think you continue to build with Justin? Do I think that Justin Fields can become a much better quarterback than what we've seen in the NFL? I do. I really do. I think he will leave here, and Bears fans, all those same Bears fans that like to throw the word, what is it, Justin sexuals or whatever it is that y'all are upset about, right? Like all the people that like if he sticks with Justin will absolutely lose their mind. I fully expect them to be the main ones that's sitting there crying like, oh my God, why did we hold on to Justin Fields? It's crazy, right? But I can see why, at least in the tape that I've watched of this young man, why Ryan Poles on the field would say, I got that right there. I can move on with that.
I have to ask a question to you, and I don't want to throw us too far off. But why can't this be a Rams and Detroit situation? Why can't we have, and this maybe more for the chat, because I know we've had
both good.
Yeah, why can't this be a situation where we both benefit if this move is made? Like Justin could go off, hypothetically, Atlanta, since that's the team he's closely tied to.
There's a package possibly there that's interesting.
I heard about that Kyle Pitts thing too, but hey, we're gonna keep it moving. I heard about that Kyle Pitts thing too, which I think you should consider. Anyway, but even let's say that happens, and Caleb comes in. Maybe he has a mid first year, but he may have a higher ceiling. And it's a better fit for what we're trying to build here. Why can't both sides be right? Why can't that be a win-win? Why is that not in the realm?
I don't think that it can't be a win-win. It's one of those things where I guess here's the thing. If you feel that it's a win-win scenario, that means Justin Fields leaves and is good. Right?
The way I feel about Justin, I want that situation for him.
Which is fine. I'm just saying, if it's a win-win situation, that means Justin leaves and he's good.
And he's good. Because
if you believe Justin Fields can be good and you trade him for a early second round pick, because I don't believe the report that
he's not going for the number
8. If you can get 8, listen, I'm a Fields guy. If you can get 8 from freaking Atlanta, I've said this for a minute. Get him up
pack the
out of
bag, my boy.
here. I'm packing myself. I got it. But if you believe that he can be good just by fixing the coaching and stuff like that, you hope that you fix the coaching here. You can trade the first overall pick for so much more than you can for trading away Justin Fields. Like, it's not even close. Like, it's you could come away with a bigger, you will come away with, if Ryan Poles does his job right, you will come away with a bigger haul than what you traded for Bryce Young for. That allows you the opportunity to fix the rest of the team and still have the quarterback position right. That's the only reason for me where if you believe that I'm getting rid of you for a win-win situation, then just build the win situation here. I don't have to go make somebody else better. I can just build the win situation. And I think that's the part for me that most Bears fans ignore. They just focus on the one position. And it's like, why are you so worried about just fixing the quarterback position when we saw quarterbacks play here that we're like, oh man, he could play, all until his left side collapsed and he got murdered. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like I have a tough time saying let's bring a new quarterback into the same situation.
The only reason why I'm actually on that train of doing it is because of the turnover. And I think that's just that level of inconsistency, the habits that you build and everything like that. I think it's sometimes best for some people to have a fresh start. I look at what Baker Mayfield went through, and he had an up and down situation. He like really did. I'm not a big Baker fan, but like no one can sit there and look at that situation and go through the real context of what happened there and say that he was dealt a fair hand outside of probably like one season where maybe his competitive nature got the best of him trying to prove himself when he shouldn't have. But outside of that kid's been through a lot. But now he's
but
Tampa
was
stuff like that.
Bad in big moments too. Like,
but you expect that. Like, I expect my young QB to make mistakes, but I expect him to have the gall to try. Like, that's the one thing that Baker did. Was it wrong? Sometimes it was very wrong.
Yeah.
But he tried it. And at times, Justin doesn't try it simply because, whether it be coaching, things of that nature, it's a whole bunch of things. I've told Pat this, he can correct me if I'm wrong. I was cool with Justin threw picks. Throw the ball.
No, you was fine with it.
I was cool because your young QB will throw picks.
Yeah.
My favorite QBs of all time, our favorite QBs of all time, they weren't all that good when they first came out. The GOAT was not the GOAT. Peyton Manning led the league in INTs. Like, Drew Brees was almost out the league. Like, our GOATs weren't always, everyone's not Patrick Mahomes. That's just the reality of it. And we keep those people in mind, not realizing a lot of these people really had to develop. So I'm cool with keeping him if that's the case. But I'm also like, I've seen like a lot of our QBs have to go to other situations. Drew Brees didn't make it in San Diego.
Right.
He made it in with the Saints.
I think what's tough. I think what's tough too is, right, like, we live in an era now where you don't have to. I think so many people are looking for you have to be the GOAT at the quarterback position to win, and I think that era is over. I really do. I think that era is actually coming to an end where, yes, you still have to have a competent QB. You cannot have a trash QB. But I was sitting here debating with somebody in the comments. I don't know who Buddy was, but it brought up a interesting point of what do you have to have a Hall of Fame quarterback to win? And I went back 10 years. And I would say there's 5 Hall of Fame quarterbacks that won. There's 6 Hall of Fame quarterbacks realistically that won. But one of them was Peyton Manning. His arm was falling off. He was terrible in all of that. He basically got dragged to the Super Bowl. The other one was the other two of the 3, right, are Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. So the GOAT and the dude that might be the next GOAT. That's your last 10 Super Bowls. Outside of that, you're talking about Flacco. You're talking about Stafford. You're talking about Wilson. You're talking about these guys, really good quarterbacks, but they're not making a Hall of Fame.
Stafford's making a Hall of Fame.
Probably not.
Stafford's making a Hall of Fame.
Probably not.
hey, Keyshawn's in there. Stafford's making a Hall of Fame.
Keyshawn Johnson was an elite receiver. What's the Keyshawn slander out of that? That was a random shot. What did that have to do with anything?
Hey, Keyshawn is one of those receivers who put up a lot of stats. Like, what did you say? Put up a lot of stats? Maybe didn't do. Anyway, I'll say Stafford will be in the Hall of Fame, dog. Like, he's a Super Bowl quarterback. Well, if I'll get out. Like,
I mean, yeah, but I guess if just winning a Super Bowl puts you in the Hall of Fame, then sure. But like,
Stafford's a legendary QB, dog. I'm sorry, I can't let that one slide. Hey, the other guy made
what is here's the thing, and I guess here's the argument, right? Eli's gonna make it, but Eli beat the GOAT twice.
Eli showed
Stafford's behind Eli and everything.
Eli showed up in the biggest moments, and I think he won Super Bowl MVP one of those times, right?
Sure, for sure, yeah.
I think that's
Eli's going in.
Okay,
Eli's going in. Stafford's behind him, is what I'm saying. Now,
only because
Stafford still has the opportunity to pass him up, but I'm just like, I mean, like think about this. Eli Manning's a Hall of Fame quarterback, and everybody just goes, I mean, yeah, but
Romo with 2 rings.
Everybody has the same conversation.
He Tony Romo with 2 rings.
Yeah, but Tony Romo ain't going to the Super Bowl.
I mean,
Tony Romo ain't going. He ain't going to the Super Bowl either. Tony Romo ain't going to the Hall of Fame.
Hey, if Tony Romo had 1 ring, he would be though. I'm just letting you know right now. He got some stats.
See, but I think that's the thing, right? Like, I can't just say any Hall of Fame a Hall of Fame quarterback is just a dude that won a ring. Like Joe Flacco ain't going, and he hit a heater.
Hey, dog, I'm gonna say this. I love you, but you got to walk back that Stafford comment.
Nah, I'm on it.
Hey, Stafford. Hey, Stafford is definitely a dog, my G. I'm sorry.
It's not to say he's not a dog, but I think here's the thing: the NFL Hall of Fame is actually one of those things where they don't just let. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame. Me and you can make the NBA Hall of Fame. Like, yeah, I mean, like, hey, did you play basketball at some point and do really well? Yeah, you might as well get in. Why is Yao Ming in the NBA Hall of Fame or in the Basketball Hall of Fame? What do Yao do? What do y'all do?
I'm not finna disrespect the whole country, dog.
What did y'all do?
Not finna do it. You ain't
what
finna do it.
What did y'all do?
Hey, I love
Answer the question. No, don't Google nothing. Answer the question.
Yao was a walking double-double. He was one of the first Chinamen. Was he Chinese?
That's a crazy. You can't say Chinaman, bro. Come on.
I'm talking about his ethnicity. I'm talking about his nationality.
He was Chinese.
Okay, like listen, how many Chinese dudes was like come on now, like he was one of the first
he in
to
there
break that
Chinese.
barrier.
That's why he's in there. Because he's Chinese. That's why he's in there.
Hey, listen, he's like their Jackie Robinson a little bit.
No, because they weren't being held out of the NBA Hall of Fame. Like, no, they just. What is going on here?
I'm talking about being the first and like an anomaly. Like he was an anomaly of his time. Like, hey Pat, we're gonna move off that one, my
Hey,
G.
what'd he do? That's all I'm saying. What'd he do? That's all I'm saying. All I'm asking. What'd he do? But no, I say all that to say the NFL Hall of Fame is not that. They will look at Stafford's and Stafford's got, listen, he's I believe he's 11th in passing yards. Jackie Chan Robinson is
fam. We're gonna leave that alone.
1,000 points. That's hilarious.
Hoping you didn't say that on the air.
No, that's funny. I'm sorry. That's funny. That is hilarious.
We ain't never getting nowhere.
We're never gonna make it. No, but I believe that the NFL Hall of Fame more times than not gets it right. They don't just let people in because of just the numbers or just like you actually have to be the reason that, like, it's not like those Detroit teams were bad. Like everybody always is like, oh, those Detroit teams were horrible. Those Detroit teams had one of the greatest wide receivers of all time on it.
Who got them that rock?
Matt Stafford. And they ain't win. And I believe with that same tandem, I believe they went an entire season without winning a game. Now, maybe that might have been right after him.
This is the one thing I will say about football that annoys me with, especially diving deep into it. Some of the best people and some of the people in the Hall of Fame didn't always win. Dan Marino didn't win. He was really good. He was really, really good. Dan Marino ain't got a Super Bowl.
Dan Marino don't have a Super Bowl.
Dan
Marino. But I think the thing with Marino is Dan Marino was
he's a pioneer, so to speak.
He's so right, like Dan Marino, right? Don't got a ring, all of that. Dan Marino's well above Matt Stafford in passing yards in an era that didn't air it out.
Absolutely. So, but I think the reason why I'm saying that, they saying it again. See, you done started something.
That's so funny, bro.
The reason why, like, I get everyone saying reasons why we shouldn't take the QB and stuff like that. I just want y'all to understand. Just like really think about this for a second. Caleb Williams doesn't have to come in and win immediately for it to be a successful season. Caleb Williams doesn't have to come in here and we all of a sudden we're in second round. We're in divisional round. Like that doesn't have to happen. That's not real. Y'all know how many times Peyton Manning didn't make
I will say this. You do have to win. You have to win 8 to 9 games. That's real.
So you have to win one more game than we won this season.
No, you have to be in playoff. Eight wins would have got us in the playoffs. That's why I say 8 to 9 wins.
We were 7-10, right?
We were 7-10. That's what I'm saying. You have to win 8 to 9 games. Yeah, but that's a rookie coming in having to do that. What I'm saying is you can't take steps backwards.
We've seen that happen though.
Which is fine. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying if you move off of Justin, that has to happen. You have to know I drafted this dude. We about to win 8 games. Otherwise, you're redoing the same cycle because Fluke's gonna be up out of there. Freaking maybe you move Waldron over because he worked with him. I don't know. But like when you're sitting there looking at like all the things, you're restarting the same like new coach, new quarterback, new offensive coordinator, new defense. We doing the same thing again.
But that's the same rhyme and reason you can have for moving off as you can with keeping someone. Like keeping Justin in that situation, new coach, all that stuff. It's like, hey, what could be one of the excuses? Well, you had a new OC, you fired this one with no consistency, stuff like that. We've been there. So I know we've all been even killed.
But the difference is I'm firing everybody at once. I'm not starting a new quarterback with a new OC. That's the problem that the Bears have. Their cycle isn't the new quarterback or the new coordinator gets the new quarterback. And he gets the new head coach, and everybody comes in at once. The problem is Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace drafted Justin Fields. Ryan Poles didn't know if he even wanted him when he got here. Said, I really got to see what this guy's going to be able to do. Matt Eberflus signs up. He's like, I'm just happy to be here. Now we got a whole new staff in there, and now if you move off of Justin, you're doing that again. Again, I see the reason why, talent-wise, you would look at it and go, we might need to move off Justin. I see the talent that Caleb Williams has, but I'm not going to say that I don't see why you can't keep Justin Fields either.
Yeah, there's nothing definitive there. I do say this. I can see 2 reasons why you can't trade that pick.
Why you can't trade that pick?
There's 2 reasons you can't trade that pick.
Why?
One is the potential to have the best available at QB in this draft, and that's one thing we've really been big on, and that's one thing that actually Ryan Post said we're going to get the best. We're going to build through the draft and stuff like that. So that's one reason. The second one is MHJ is there, and I get that we have there's other like talent matters. MHJ is an elite. If no one else is generational in this draft, that kid's generational. He ain't gonna be there. Sure. He coming off top 3.
Yeah,
you have to take that kid, and if you take that kid, like listen, you don't go with Caleb or Drake May, whoever. I'm cool with that. Did you get Justin the best weapon to pair with DJ Moore?
100%.
If you don't do that, now I have a big problem because we've seen this hodgepodge piece it together thing that you've tried to done. This is Ryan Post specifically because I still believe Pickens should have been a Chicago Bear. I stand on that one.
Yeah,
I don't care about that kid's attitude. Not the kid's attitude because he's tired of losing. Hey, I admire that. Okay. I admire that. Hey, listen, I'm not gonna block for you either. We ain't going nowhere. Like,
I'm okay. Nah, that's crazy.
He shouldn't have said it. He had a moment.
That's crazy. That was insane.
He had to walk that back. He
listen,
own that.
Here's the one thing working with so many players now that I do know about championship teams. You have to be willing to sacrifice yourself for your teammate. You have to be willing to work just as hard as they do. You're not going nowhere. I would almost guarantee, unless George Pickens changes his attitude about like stuff like that, he'll never be a part of a championship team.
Would you?
Unless he's just a wheel on that team.
Would you not be upset though?
Would I not be upset?
So we're cool. Like I think the chat, me and you, we're cool with whatever he decides at QB. If he keeps Justin, we're cool with that, right? So we can move off the QB for a minute. But you can't trade that pick back if it means you're not getting MHJ.
No, I don't. I'll be honest with you. I think that you get more than you got last year if you traded back to Washington.
I don't see that happening.
Washington's 3.
That's not happening, dog.
Why? Here's the thing you got to understand, right? And this is just from me. I'm going off what a lot of people have said, how they breaking down tape, watching these games myself. It's Caleb. It's Drake. That gap from here to Drake is a long way. Then to me is Jaden.
Yeah,
Washington is 2. You're right. I meant
Patriots.
Well, I mean, you could double trade back, but I meant the Patriots.
Patriots don't need to.
Patriots at 3.
Patriots don't need to. Patriots are in the best position.
Patriots don't have a quarterback.
Patriots are in the best position. You want to know why? No matter what happens, I'm getting a QB off this board, and it's probably going to be the one I want. Anybody trades up, they get Caleb.
I'm
gonna get Drake May. That's a Drake May system.
Yeah. No, I think most people are. Well, it ain't a Drake May system no more because ain't gonna be no Josh McDaniels there no more.
Yeah, we gonna see what May do. Or Mayo,
Atlanta about to be wilding, baby. I love how they're like, we're bringing multiple coordinators back for a second interview, and one of them's Bill. Just tell him he got the job. Well, Bill, we're gonna bring you back around for a second round of interview. Just tell him he's got the job. That's okay. We don't have to worry.
I'll be honest with you. Between the two teams, the team who could trade back the most, and especially because of what Steve was speaking, and I really do believe this, the Patriots could trade back and get more pieces for that team and still get a QB that they like.
They might. They absolutely.
They don't need Caleb.
I think when you look at, there's a lot of people that are going to get excited about Caleb that aren't excited yet. There's a lot of people that are going to see Caleb at the combines and that are going to get excited about him and be willing to give you the world to get him. There's a lot of teams that are, I'll tell you this right now, let Bill Belichick be on Atlanta. He going to F that team up.
Yeah.
Because he going to trade away the world to go get the answer at quarterback. Yeah. Because he's going to bring in Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
And so you're going to develop the quarterback. You're going to put him in good positions. He's going to give up the world to go get a top 3 quarterback.
Bill is very much a different guy when it comes to that, which is why if you say Atlanta, I'm not in that system with Bill there. I'm not looking at Caleb Williams going there. That's not the type of QB he goes for. It's just not. That's just not what he's saying.
I'm telling you right now, let that tape drop. Let them actually start sitting down and watching them, watching the combine numbers and all that. Must finna lose their mind. It's finna be Anthony Richardson for the dude that's already number 1.
I want to say this for some people, and again, we are off officially the Caleb over Justin. Whatever he chooses, let's just do it right.
Now, I do agree. You don't move back to the point where you can't get MSJ though.
That we on the same page.
We're on the same page there.
But for those who keep saying, this was the year or something like that, that's the excuse we gave last year. So for those who are like really big on trade back twice, stuff like that, we can do. We did that already. We did that already. Historically, it's never happened this way twice. Now, that doesn't mean that it can't happen.
Don't mean it won't.
Don't mean it won't happen. But if it don't happen, don't sit there and be like, well, Pose did exactly what he said he was going to do. He did exactly what we wanted him to do.
Yeah.
What did we want him to do? We wanted him to get Justin Fields a weapon. Did he get it?
He did.
Did the line get better? Wasn't perfect. The line got better. It's better than it was.
Not yes and no, right? Because I think the last year we still had the same. Tevin's healthier. Tevin was healthier this year, but like really the line didn't get better. Like you got a better right tackle, but Braxton Jones is the same dude. Y'all can sit there and tell me that all the PFF numbers and this and that. I watched this man literally try to stop bull rushes every day and just go. He's not good. I'm sorry. Like he's developing, sure. I mean, like he's not good. If he was good enough, we wouldn't be talking about left tackles in the draft.
and again, if we were any other team, if this was any other team, we'd probably be telling them to take that pick and use that pick. Use that pick, especially if you got 2 in the top 10. We'd be telling them to use that pick.
See, I don't think so, because I think I'm not gonna lie. I think I would look at every other team the way that I look at the Bears because of the rhetoric around there's too much of people that played the game that say you can fix Justin. There's too much of people that have scouted, too much of people that have been in that room. And you know what the interesting part is? It's always right. Like 10 GMs say that they're out on Justin. 10 GMs say they're in on Justin. 10 GMs say I take it one way or the other. And it's like, okay, thanks. So we only writing articles about them 10 GMs. I mean, and I swear this, I really do believe this. The 10 GMs that are out on Justin would trade for Justin. Because they're just looking at it like the Bears suck. Twin said, you fool, Pat. That's exactly how I move. Bro, that man be going backwards, bro. I'm not worried about it. Hey, Braxton be say, hut. Oh, Jesus.
The fact Justin, that you ain't broke that chair again is crazy.
Justin, get up, Justin. Justin, sorry. I'm sorry, Justin. Please.
Man. Yeah,
no, but I will say this. I do think that what my favorite thing is it's not to say there's not a ton that Justin doesn't need to work on, but it's what when we had Greg Gabriel on, he said he talked to a QB coach who he would not name, and basically said, you want to fix Justin Fields, just speed him up. He's dropping back so freaking slow. He's not giving his offensive line any time. Like it's the sacks are on him because he's dropping back so slow. So I don't know what's going to be the case. I do think this is interesting. We were going to pivot into some basketball here, but Baki tweeted us this article and I had to bring it up. Matt Eberflus, per Albert Breer, article written by Alex Shapiro on NBC Sports Chicago, per Albert Breer, though, is defending Justin Fields in the offensive coordinator meetings and defended Justin Fields to Shane Waldron before hiring him. Now, I'm not in these meetings. I can't say whether that's true or not. But what I will say is this, and it goes to kind of what we were just saying. Players on his team, players on the opposing team, former players that are covering the game, former quarterbacks, his head coach, all defending him. What are we missing? Because I see all the mistakes. I see him holding the football too long. I see the slow drop back. I see the footwork being messy. He's on his toes too much. I see the mistakes that are there. What are we missing?
The business of it.
The business of it is an aspect that could be, but like the conversation. Here's the thing with the conversation on the business. If you feel like he's the answer at quarterback, you're just gonna pay him. Like that's really what it comes down to. The business of it is all the rest of my pieces that I'm going to go out there and get in the draft are going to be cheap so I can pay the quarterback. What are we missing?
The business of it. No, here's what I mean by that, right? And just to give you more context, not to be a jerk about it. I saw Kevin Warren get up there with vigor, pretty much say how much he wants to improve, how he couldn't sleep. In so many words, put people on the hot seat. Now, he didn't say anything directly, but you can infer a lot. You can imply a lot from what he was saying. Pose is in a very difficult situation because this year didn't go well.
Yeah.
So because the business of football kicks in, which everyone is not, a lot of people who give their takes don't consider. They say, well, we can still pay him this, that, and the other. It's not about if you can still pay him and have an extra year to work it out. It's what if the people we passed up end up being the better talent? What if they actually are, or what if Caleb actually does have a higher ceiling? What is that conversation between Warren and Pose? Like, how much more
winning does Justin do?
How much? That's
really all it comes down to. No, because I think you're not wrong, but that's what it comes down to. Because I say this. Patrick Mahomes is going to go on to be the second GOAT probably at some point. He's moving easily into that. Deshaun Watson's a more talented quarterback. Deshaun Watson is not one more than Patrick Mahomes. But skill-wise, Deshaun Watson, now a little different, right? I mean, stay face down on the table. But when it was all going down, not that. When they were playing at the same time, Deshaun Watson was a more talented quarterback than Pat Mahomes was.
Oh, I believed it, but
Pat
he
Mahomes
didn't have the
won
same
more.
infrastructure.
He
didn't have the same infrastructure.
Peyton Manning is a more talented quarterback than Tom Brady was.
Absolutely.
Tom Brady won more. That's why Tom Brady's the GOAT. Right? So it's all about how much, right? Like, it's not to say Caleb Williams can't go off and be better. Maybe we look at Caleb Williams one day and we go, whoo, Caleb Williams would have been nice to have. Man, that's crazy. But you have to ensure that your teams are going to NFC championship games, Super Bowls, right? Like, and I think that's more than just the quarterback position. That is, right, Deshaun Watson, the more talented piece, goes down to a situation where he's got 5 tight ends going.
But to your point, and that's a great
I mean, like, you got to build that around.
That's a great point you just brought up. He was still the better talent, and we knew he was a better talent. We could see he was a better talent. We also saw that he was at a trash organization. He didn't 100%. Have much around him and stuff like that, right? So we can I don't want to say excuse, but we can rhyme and reason away why he's not as successful as Patrick Mahomes, because you can look at the situations and say these are both really talented QBs. One was just blessed with a situation that had infrastructure, one wasn't. But that doesn't take away their talent.
Right.
When you sit there and you look at this situation and you look at how that works out, no matter what people say, if you think the conversation about why we passed up on CJ Stroud never crossed their minds, you're a fool. What didn't you see? That's a conversation. I'm not worried about what Ryan Poles does as much as I'm worried about the guy who actually won the city over in that orange tie after him. That dude right there, I felt like I wanted to play after he got down. I'm like, give me a jersey, coach. Like, where we at?
I agree with you, but I also think that's just, isn't that just knowing how to play the game? Like, Matt Eberflus don't know how to play the game. You know who knows how to play the game and probably doesn't have the talent to match up to play the game? Tyson Bagent, phenomenal at the podium. He's elite. He had me ready to go play ball.
He don't have the arm talent.
But Tyson Bagent was like, he knows what to say. Hey, baby, we waiting for Justin to get back. He's the leader on this team. But while we're here, we all gonna work this out together. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. I'm making moves and we do. And he said it very proper. And then he got in the locker room. He's like, riding on 20 volts. That's how all my
if Bagent had more arm talent, slightly more, we'd still be having a Bagent and Fields conversation. I ain't saying it's right, but Bagent got the ball out quick. He worked in Luke Getsy's system a little easier. And that's just what it was, right? He's not a better talent. He just did certain things better that made him he maximized what he can do right now.
But when I hear things like that, like, and we talk about, the business of football, and right, like, I always say, but who's paying the money in the business? I know. Here's the thing, and I love it. Right, when we talk Bulls, we talk Bears, all of that. I know how things are supposed to work in organizations.
That don't mean it worked that way.
That don't happen here. I know that if Ryan Poles misses on Caleb Williams or misses on Justin Fields, that he should be fired. It's probably not going to happen here. Right? And when I hear people talk about that, like, he's gone if he does this, I'm like, what team have y'all been watching the past 30 years? Because I watched Jerry Angelo miss on everybody.
Yeah, that was a McCaskey's thing, though. I don't trust. Here. I don't trust that Kevin.
Here.
I don't trust that Kevin Warren would allow it. That's the one thing. Understanding like what we're trying to do now, and this is why I feel so comfortable talking about the Bears now, is we're all in uncharted territories. The Bears have never done it. Everything we're doing right now,
they've never had a president, a GM, and an assistant GM all at once.
The Bears have never set this up before. So now we can actually start having some conversations. I don't have to know as much of the history now because guess what? We ain't been me and you both in fresh water now. We don't know what the heck Kevin wanted to do, but we know what he did with the Rams. Or St. Louis at the time, right?
It was right.
St. Louis.
That was right.
We know what he did there. We know what he said he's going to do.
I hear that, but it's still right. Like, there's still this mustached man that signs everybody check in the building.
Hey, listen, George.
When I sign everybody check, guess what? The final say is mine, whether you agree with it or not.
Hey, George, you want to win before mom dies, or you want to sit here and be mid?
101 years old, bro. That's crazy, bro.
Hey, you want to win
Shout
before
out
she
to
gets to
Mr.
105? Because if she makes it to 105, she's a vampire.
Hey, don't seem like she's slowing down either.
Hey, man, she moved quick.
She moving, bro.
Hey, that's
She
a.
moving
I
out
had
here.
another joke, but I'm gonna leave that alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. She's a nice lady.
Don't do that.
She's a nice
But no, I'm
lady. Got a Lazarus
intrigued.
pit somewhere though.
Like even with the business of football, I'm intrigued that I mean, we're down to the head coach now. Like, who else has to defend this dude, bro? Like, must act like it's personally me sitting here saying, sign Justin Fields to a 10-year extension.
You reporting what everybody else is saying in the locker room.
I'm talking about what we're seeing at a unprecedented level. The head coach, everybody on the team, players not on the team, players that used to be on the team. Everybody that talks about this kid, except Shady McCoy, is sitting there like he got it. Shady got personal beef. I don't know. Justin must have knocked down a chick at some point.
If we,
Justin must have knocked down a chick at some point. The people, it was the first day. It was like he walked in, he was like, Justin Fields is. It was like, wait a minute, dog. We're talking about Dak Prescott right now. Same thing.
If I would say this is never a conversation when you don't have the opportunity to correct it. Most teams are not in a situation where they can make a move like the Bears can to address the situation. They have to deal with the situation or make some drastic change that requires giving up the pieces you do have to fix it. That's why most people are like, you keep them, but they ain't in a Bears situation. How many times have we seen a team who had a QB they weren't so sure of, split fan base with the number 1 overall, and don't do it? How many times have you seen it?
I mean,
you remove the emotion.
I'm trying to think of a team that had a pick this high.
Top 10. It don't have to be number 1. Top 10. You got a top 10 pick. You iffy on your QB. You just fired your OC. You almost fired your head coach. You should have fired your head coach, and you don't address it. How many times has it happened?
I don't know, dog. I can't think of another team that had a pick this high that had a quarterback in place. I would think there's some people, right? But you also think about, I think the thing I also think about is, right, what about the guys that didn't go this high?
Oh, I got one for you. Just happened. He may not have been a world breaker, but he definitely had a better rookie season. He showed a lot of promise. Mac Jones was a much better QB than Bill did for the last 2 seasons. In every one season.
Bill broke him.
What are they going to do? They're going to get a QB.
But he's broken already. I'll say this.
He is. I think honestly, he didn't have an OC.
Yeah, but I'll say this.
He didn't have an OC, bro.
We can name the people that bounce back from being broken by the NFL, and that tells you how few it is.
How do we know
we can sit there and be like, this guy had a bounce back career after this happened. Like it's so rare that they make movies about it.
You're right. My bad. How many of those guys had an OC though? Like to be able to say that they didn't bounce back, they at least had to have the opportunity. Geno Smith is a good idea. Geno Smith bounced back. But he got a OC.
Yeah, but Geno Smith bounced back to be mid. That's just because he was dog water. I guess being mid is cool, but like he still was mid. What I'm saying is like the guys that bounce back and have like long lasting careers, like the Geno Smiths, to me, that's easy to move off of because he's already 32.
Let's say Baker. Baker bounced around. He about to get 40 mil. Baker bounced back.
I don't know if Baker about to get 40 mil. Well, maybe Daniel Jones got 40 mil. They probably pay him 40 mil.
He about to get 40.
They probably pay him 40
mil, dog. Hey, you pay that.
But I'll be real with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. With Russell Wilson out there, do you extend him? Do you stick with Baker? Baker got you to a second round. Baker played okay. But maybe you feel like Russell Wilson's out there and the wheels didn't fall off. Sean Payton just hated him, which he did. Which he absolutely did. Hates him. To this day. It's like packed his bags for him to get out of there.
There's a team out there. You know what's funny? I hate to say this, and I know it's probably not contractually possible, but Russell Wilson would look real good in the 49ers jersey. Just throwing that out there.
It's contractually possible. What you mean? They getting rid of him?
He got so much. I mean, they ain't getting rid of Brock Purdy.
No, they getting rid of Baker. Baker coming in for the I'm trying to
No,
win.
I'm talking about a 49ers jersey. Like
no, that's why I'm not Baker. Russ coming in for the I'm trying to win deal.
Hey,
Russ got $37 million in his pocket the day they cut him.
Hey,
you know what I mean? Russ got money. Russ on some. Hey, I need to make sure I punch my ticket for this Hall of Fame ballot because he outside of it too. He's outside of it too. Still on Stafford, ain't it? But no, I just I do believe Russ to Atlanta. I could see Russ to Pittsburgh as well. I think both those situations fit him well. But I'm just saying, maybe they keep Baker, maybe they don't. But even with that, right? Why did Baker look so good?
Oh, he had an OC. No, and he had weapons.
You plugged Baker in to a Super Bowl team.
I mean, that line ain't the same. That line
still pretty good though.
That line ain't the same that kept
but it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good. You know what I mean? Like you put Baker on a Super Bowl team and he won 9 games.
I saw Baker die a couple of games. I'm like, ooh, Jesus. Like, hey, Tom would not have made it. Like, hey, he got out at the right time.
I'm just saying, you sit there and you think about that, right? Like it's the same thing though, right? Why didn't that team work with Jameis?
Because Jameis just doesn't understand.
Because Jameis, no, after that. Because Jameis.
No, hey, listen.
Jameis.
There's a lot of different situations, and then there's Jameis. You want to know where I was off on Jameis? That man said it was a team decision. We were in victory formation. It was a team decision. We collectively came, and not one person said, "Yeah, we all decided to do it." Not one person said,
"Ain't nobody back Baker. Ain't nobody back Jameis."
Hey, what team decision he talking about? No,
not one person back Jameis up, bro. Not one person. It is funny to see that, man.
Hey, the whole line could have been like, "Yeah, we was all like, hey," and the team could have apologized. It had not one person stuck up for Jameis.
Hey, it is hilarious. I don't know, man. I look at. I think that is the perfect scenario to speak on situations, though. Right? When you're in the right situation, sometimes it just works out for you. Why was Baker Mayfield able to get to the second round of the playoffs this year? Yes, it is because Baker can play NFL level football and be a competent starting quarterback. 100% it is. But it's also the scenario you're in, the situation that you're in. My issue with what the Bears are is we never build that situation. We never build that scenario. You know what I mean? Like we never build out the scenario where we go, yep, we're a quarterback away. We always think we're a quarterback away. We always say we're a quarterback away. That Super Bowl year, we're a quarterback away. Yeah, watch Rex Grossman stand back there and have some shaky protection at times. But maybe you felt like then and there you could have got it done with that. Quarterback away, a game manager away. Kyle Orton to me wins that Super Bowl. Maybe that's the one time we were. But the other 30 years, we ain't been no quarterback away, boys.
I think if you're going to do it right, though, this is your best opportunity. You get no better opportunity than the one that Ryan Poles is in. And remind everybody, for real, this is the second year or third year, it depends on how you look at it, of a rebuild. We got our defense is elite. We're shoring up the line. We expect to use our picks to get some line help. We expect to do it. Like it's not just the first round. We expect to get some help in this draft. We got some capital to actually go get some help. It's not a scenario in which, if I take Justin out, Caleb Bennett is going to be the same. That's not true. That's to say that Ryan Poles is not going to make any other moves outside of this one. And that's just not true.
But
there's nothing there. There's nothing to substantiate that. That's not true. He's not going to sit on his hands with the number 9 pick, and we got a third.
No. I hear you on that. I think here's the hope that I have for the Bears. Build Dallas.
No,
and I'm gonna tell you why. Keep the coach. Hey, look, keep the coach there. Right?
Okay, I'm with you. I'm
build a scenario where you could take a dude in the 4th round just on some we ain't took a quarterback in a minute. We might need to do that. And you could plug him in and he could be successful. Build that. Build San Fran, build Philly, build whatever city you want to say. Because you know what? There's so many scenarios where the guys that build the team can just throw a guy in there. And not to say just throw a guy, you still got to develop him and all that. But the name that's hot is not the name that you're going out there with.
What's that, a John Madden thing? The best time to get a QB is when you don't need one? I think that's a John Madden quote.
That might be John Madden. That's a pretty good quote to pull right there. This guy's been watching NFL films.
Been doing my homework.
He's been watching 30 for 30s out here.
But that's how Green Bay did it. The best time.
But it's the thing, right? And I said this yesterday. No matter what, it doesn't mean the Bears might not take a quarterback. Doesn't mean I do believe the Bears will draft a quarterback.
They have to.
I do believe the Bears will draft a quarterback in this draft. But I also believe that they're trying to build out something more than just the quarterback position. And I think when you see stuff like Matt Eberflus defending Justin Fields in OC interviews, when you see how the players are looking for, because in that situation now, right, if you got the right leader, you can win. If you got the right guy that's behind center, you can win. If you got the guy that can galvanize the room, you can win. We can talk about Justice talent all day, up, down, wherever you're at on it. Nobody can say that he's not the leader of that locker room. When he say jump, they say how high.
I love the fact that he is. I love it. I've also seen people who have that ability not win.
Oh yeah, listen. There are. This is Yurko's quote, greatest quote from the last pod. Because Yurko gave me a great quote every pod. I'm not gonna lie. There's 31 teams that's gonna go home upset. Every year, there's 31 teams that go home upset, and we just live in an era where the real generational talents, not just he's a generational talent every year, the real generational talents, the Tom Brady's, the Pat Mahomes, we just kind of saw that torch get handed off there. They're always in the Super Bowl. That didn't used to be how it was. You wasn't seeing that same name in the Super Bowl every single year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so I think that we're also in a little bit of a spoiled era, and the best scenario for us is to build the rest of this team, because you ain't gonna find Pat Mahomes in this draft. We'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to me. I see the talent on Caleb. Look, hey, the more I watch, the more I'm like, I'm not in on Caleb, but like if we took him, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, like I'm not flipping the table like I did the first time when we drafted Justin. I'm not.
You know what this tells me, Chad?
But I'd absolutely go, all right, Ryan, I see what you're doing, brother.
Hey, he's one extra season of Caleb film away to say, all right, we got to get Caleb.
Hey, if we get 3 years, if he had a senior year to look at, bro, I'm not gonna lie. And the drop off this year was so he looks like a different quarterback. He looks so much worse. But
it's still so much better than everybody else.
I look at last year. No, it looks very much like Justin last year. But you can see, right? You can see a lot of the issues that have come into the why you wouldn't want them. Because I got that. Right? But why would I draft that? Why would I draft that at number 1? I got that.
This is not a Pat quote, but this is a P Kid quote. And because I already got that, and that's closer to 50 million, and this is closer to 50 million, I think I want this one.
That might be the case.
Just saying, dog.
We'll see. We'll see what it ends up being. The tape look good though. The tape looks good.
Hey, we out here, dog.
Hey, follow us on everything at the Windy City Breeze. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. As always, your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Joined by the pettiest man alive, P Kid. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down.